Yahoo Finance is one of those companies that parrots everything Zillow says, always pretty positive of them. And so here's an article that purports to say some things you should look for when browsing Zillow listings. Not if you browse Zillow listings, not why you shouldn't browse Zillow listings, but when you're browsing Zillow listings, as though that's something that everybody does and everybody should do. But when you read the article, what's comical to me at least, is how they point out not only should you take their data with a grain of salt, as the author says, I would say a salt shaker held the whole package. So some of the things quoted, if you go through this article, this is on Yahoo Finance, I linked to it, but I'm going to quote a few pieces here. The best thing to do if you find a listing on Zillow is to send it to your agent so they can provide you with the actual listing for the MLS to ensure full accuracy and other pertinent information that's given to agents but not to the public. Meaning, the agents have better information, is more accurate and more pertinent. Well, why wouldn't you just go to the agent in the first place? Every agent almost has a search tool for the MLS that they belong to. Zillow has one that's national in scope. And because they combine them all together, has one of the best national ones. But each of us agents belong to an MLS. We all have tools either through our MLS or through our brokerage that customers can use. So really, if you want to service the customers, I would say ditch the Zillow if you're working in one area and work with an agent who has access to MLS that they can offer you. So then later in the article, this is just hysterical. It says, the property in a flood zone, are the rooms in terrible shape or that aren't visible? Agents have access to information that Zillow may not show, such as notes about serious defects. It also says, beware of photo tricks. You're hard to spot unless you're working with an experienced agent. And the tricks to hide major issues. So these are things that this article, which is telling you how to use Zillow, is scaring you about. It also says that there's an area of properties you should avoid called pre-foreclosure. And I agree, this is just completely misleading data. And again, quoting the article, if you see a house labeled pre-foreclosure, it's a trap. These aren't listings, these are agents who pay for Zillow leads, and the properties are just a way to get buyers to click and find an agent button and send them to a paying agent. In my experience, there are many times that properties have been wrongly termed in Zillow. Maybe they had the wrong city or wrong state. So a property would appear for sale for $200,000 in California, which is non-existent, and really they put the wrong state in, it should be somewhere else. Well, you can't call Zillow. It's very hard to get a hold of anybody to respond. And of course, they don't really want to correct information because it creates so many more clicks, and they're selling clicks to their agents overall. Even though they're moving to a percentage basis, there's still the value of the clicks and the traffic to them. Then later in the article, it says, and this is an interesting quote, that beware of the Zestimate, the Zillow's estimate. It says in particular for off-market properties, the margin of error is 7.9%. Now, I don't think people who haven't taken statistics understand what margin of error means. Generally, it means 2 standard deviations, or 68% of the time, it's within that range, which also means, by definition, that 32% of the time, the variance is 8% or more. Well, that's a lot off. I don't think people really understand how far off those are. And then they also say there's so many misleading properties that are scams that you should be careful of. So all this is from the most powerful corporation in real estate America, $8 billion company that just dominates the market and is disrupting the market, to use their terms, and disrupting agents, and yet not paying any federal taxes or state taxes as a general rule.